Hello, guys. Welcome back to another exciting episode. I'm thrilled to have you with us today. We've got some amazing discussions lined up that you definitely won't want to miss. So grab a seat, kick back, and let's dive right in. This is Emma, and you're listening to Let's Talk About English podcast.
Hey, everyone. Ben here. And today we're diving into something a lot of you have asked us about. Common mistakes in English. And trust me, we've all been there. You're not alone in making these slip-ups.
Yeah, for sure. It's like no biggie, right? We all make mistakes when we're learning a new language. But the cool thing is, once you catch them, you can fix them, and that's how you level up your English.
Totally. So let's kick it off with one of the biggest mistakes I hear people make all the time, using much instead of many or vice versa. This one's pretty sneaky. It can be a real mind bender.
Oh, for real. This one trips up even native speakers sometimes. So here's the deal. Much is used with uncountable nouns, like water or money. And many is for countable nouns, like apples or books.
Exactly. So you would say, I have many books, because you can count them. But you would say, I don't have much water, because water's something you can't exactly count in individual units like apples, right?
Right, and this mistake happens a lot, especially when you're just getting the hang of English. It's one of those things where you hear people mix it up, and you're like, wait, should I say much or many here?
For sure. And don't even get me started on less versus fewer. I hear that one all the time. It's another one that's got to be corrected if you want to sound fluent.
Yeah, less is for uncountable nouns, stuff like sugar or time. You would say, I have less sugar in my coffee, right? But then fewer is for things you can count, like people or cookies. So you'd say, there are fewer cookies on the plate.
Exactly. You wouldn't say there are less people in the park. That's a big no-no. It's all about knowing whether you can count the thing or not. And honestly, once you get that, you'll sound so much smoother.
Oh, and here's one that's a bit tricky for people learning English as a second language. The difference between since and for. This one messes people up because they both talk about time, but they're used in different ways.
Right, so you use since when you're talking about the starting point of an action. Like, I've been studying English since 2015. That's the beginning of the time period. But you use for when you're talking about the duration. Like, I've been studying English for 5 years.
Totally. And sometimes people mix them up, like saying, I've been here since 2 hours, which is wrong. It should be, I've been here for 2 hours.
Yeah. When it's a specific amount of time, you've got to go with for. But when it's the starting point, since is the winner. Easy, right? Once you get the hang of it, you'll be all set.
Exactly. And now let's talk about something that's a little less grammatical, but still super important. The use of contractions. I know some people think contractions are informal, but honestly, they're essential in everyday spoken English.
Oh, for sure. In casual conversations, we use contractions all the time. Like I'm for I am, or I'll for I will. It's just part of the flow of the language. And if you leave them out, you're going to sound super stiff.
Yeah, no one really talks like that in real life. Imagine saying, I am going to the store instead of I'm going to the store. It just sounds a little weird, right? So embrace those contractions.
You bet. And it doesn't just stop at I'm and I'll. You've got don't for do not, can't for cannot, and even should've for should have. You're not only making it sound more natural, but you're also keeping up with how we actually speak.
Absolutely. But of course, be mindful of when you're speaking formally. You might not want to use contractions in professional settings or formal writing, but for casual conversation, they're a must-have.
For real. Now, speaking of sounding natural, let's talk about one of the most common mistakes I hear from non-native speakers: mispronouncing certain sounds in English.
Yes, the th sound especially, people always mess that up. It's not duh or tuh. It's like you're putting your tongue between your teeth. For example, in words like think or this, you gotta get that sound right.
Oh man, totally. That sound is a game changer when it comes to sounding natural. So make sure you're getting your tongue in the right place. Don't just say dis instead of this, and thin instead of thin. It's subtle, but it makes a huge difference.
Yeah. And another one that trips people up is the R sound in words like river or right. Some languages don't have that R sound, so it can be hard to get it right, but trust me, it's worth practicing.
Exactly. Keep practicing those tricky sounds, and soon enough, you'll feel like you're nailing it.
All right, I think we've covered some pretty big mistakes so far, but we've got more to share. So hang tight, let's keep this going.
Yeah, we're just getting started.
All right, hope you're still with us. Let's pick up where we left off. So we talked about contractions, pronunciation, and some grammar slip-ups. Now let's dive into a mistake that I think a lot of people don't realize they're making.
Yeah, this one's big. Overusing very. You know, people love to say very tired, very big, very good. But the thing is, there are so many other words in English that can make your language sound way more interesting.
For real. Instead of saying very good, you could say awesome, fantastic, or amazing. And instead of very tired, try exhausted or worn out. It's about adding a little flair to your speech, you know?
Totally. And that's the thing, using very over and over again is kind of lazy. You can spice things up and sound way more natural by mixing it up with stronger adjectives.
Exactly. And another thing people often mess up is word order, especially when asking questions. Like instead of saying, you are going to the store, it should be, are you going to the store? That's a common one in English learners.
Oh, definitely. It's all about that word order. In English, questions are almost always formed by switching the subject and the auxiliary verb. So, do you like pizza? Not, you do like pizza.
Right. The correct word order is crucial if you want to sound fluent. It's like getting the rhythm of the language. And sometimes people miss this even when they think they're speaking properly.
It's easy to fall into that trap. But once you get the hang of it, it's second nature. Speaking of which, another mistake I've heard people make is with prepositions.
Oh, don't get me started. Prepositions in English are like a whole other world. Like, why do we say on the bus but in the car? It makes no sense, but that's just how it is.
Seriously. And then there's at the weekend versus on the weekend. You got to remember, even though English is crazy sometimes, there are rules you can follow to get it right. So we use on for specific days and dates, and at for times and locations.
Exactly. So I'll see you on Friday, or I'll meet you at 3 p.m. It sounds simple, but a lot of learners trip up on prepositions, so it's good to nail these down.
And there's also the to versus for thing. Like we say, I bought this gift for you, not I bought this gift to you. It's subtle, but it's important to get it right.
Right. For is used when you're talking about the recipient or the reason behind something. And to is more about direction or movement. So I'm going to the store, but this is a gift for you.
Yeah, prepositions might seem small, but they really affect how clear and natural your English sounds. So take a little time to practice them.
For sure. And now let's talk about something a bit more abstract. This whole concept of formal versus informal language. I feel like a lot of people get lost in knowing when to use which style.
Oh, definitely. Like when you're speaking to your friends, you're all casual with slang and contractions. But when you're speaking to a boss or in a formal setting, you got to adjust your language.
Right. And it's about knowing the audience. If you're sending an email to a professor or doing a job interview, you want to sound polished, not like you're texting your bestie. So you'd say, I look forward to hearing from you instead of can't wait to hear from you.
Exactly. And that goes for everything. Business meetings, presentations, and even when you're writing a cover letter. You don't want to sound too informal, but you also don't want to sound stiff. There's a balance.
It's kind of like being a chameleon, right? You need to blend in with your environment. And it's totally okay to use more casual language when it's appropriate. Just be mindful of the context.
Right? It's all about knowing when to turn it on and off. And with that said, don't forget about your tone of voice too. I feel like a lot of people focus on grammar and vocabulary, but forget about how they're saying things.
Oh, 100%. Your tone is just as important. You can be saying the right words, but if your tone is off, it can totally change the meaning. Like you can say, I'm fine, in a happy way, or in a sarcastic, I'm fine, and it's a whole different message.
Yep, tone is key. And it also comes across in writing. Ever read a text that just sounded off? It's not about the words, it's about how they're said.
Exactly. So pay attention to your tone and remember that even the best vocabulary needs the right delivery.
All right, that's a lot of ground we've covered so far. But before we wrap up this part, let's talk about one last mistake that I hear all the time: overthinking.
Oh man, yes. People get so caught up in trying to speak perfectly that they forget that communication is the key, not perfection.
For real, you can't be afraid to make mistakes. The more you practice, the better you'll get. And honestly, no one's going to care if you say a word wrong. Just keep going and learn from it.
That's the spirit. It's all about enjoying the journey and making progress. Mistakes are just part of learning, so don't stress about them.
Exactly. So, no pause here. Let's keep the momentum going. We've still got more to cover, and trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming up next.
All right. Now that we're all warmed up, let's dive into some more common mistakes. This next one is huge, and I think every learner of English has tripped over it at some point. Mixing up to and very. They're both used to add emphasis, but they're used differently, and it's easy to confuse them.
Oh man, I've definitely heard this one a lot. Too means more than what's acceptable or necessary. So when you say, I'm too tired, it means you're more tired than you want to be. But very is used to make something more intense, but not in an exaggerated way. I'm very tired just means you're really tired, but not necessarily over the limit.
Exactly. And people get these mixed up a lot because both to and very are used to emphasize, but they have that slight difference in meaning. So, I ate too much means you ate more than you should have, while I ate very much is just an exaggeration and sounds odd in English.
Right. You don't want to go around saying, I'm too happy, unless you're actually saying, I'm overly happy, which, let's be real, sounds pretty weird, right?
Yeah, that's a whole thing. The to issue is so subtle, but once you nail it, you'll sound a lot more natural in your speech. Moving on to another tricky one, using been and gone. This one gets people every time.
Oh, for sure. It's another one of those small things that can make a big difference in how you sound. Been is used when you've already been somewhere and come back, like I've been to the store. But gone is used when someone is still there, like she's gone to the store.
Right. So I've been to the store means I went there and came back. But she's gone to the store means she's still there. It's all about whether you're back or not.
Exactly. This mistake happens all the time because in some languages, they don't have that distinction. But once you get it, you'll sound so much more fluent.
Definitely. And another common one is misusing bring and take. I swear it trips up everyone, no matter how long they've been speaking English.
Yeah, bring is used when you're moving something toward the speaker or where the speaker is. Like, can you bring me the book? But take is when you're moving something away from the speaker or where the speaker is. Can you take this book to the library? It's that simple.
Exactly. People often get confused, but once you remember that bring is for bringing things closer and take is for taking things away, it clicks.
For sure. Another one I've noticed is with the verb borrow and lend. These are super easy to mix up, especially when you're just starting out.
Oh yeah, big time. Borrow is when you're the one getting something. So, can I borrow your pen? Means I'm asking to take your pen. Lend is when you're the one giving something to someone. So, can you lend me your pen? Means you're the one giving it.
Yeah, a lot of people get those mixed up because in some languages, the same word covers both meanings. But trust me, once you've got this one down, you'll sound so much more confident.
Absolutely. And then there's the issue with fewer and less that we touched on earlier. It's easy to forget, but it's worth practicing if you want to sound more accurate. Fewer is for countable things, and less is for uncountable things. Simple as that.
And it's not just about getting it right in grammar. It's about getting your point across clearly and naturally. So even though these mistakes seem small, they can make a big difference in how people perceive your English.
Totally. And speaking of clear communication, let's talk about pronunciation. This is a big one, especially for non-native speakers. There's some sounds in English that just don't exist in other languages.
Oh, the th sound is a killer. For real, people struggle with this one all the time. It's not dis or dat. It's this and that. You got to get that tongue between your teeth to make that sound, and it's a game changer.
Yeah, and it's the same with the R sound. English R can be tricky because it's pronounced differently than in other languages. It's not a rolled R, it's more like a guttural sound, especially in American English.
Exactly. But don't stress about it too much. Just keep practicing. The more you hear these sounds and try them out, the easier it'll get.
And honestly, don't worry about making mistakes with pronunciation. Everyone has an accent, and as long as people understand you, that's the goal.
For sure. So as we keep moving forward, just remember that making mistakes is part of the process. The more you speak, the better you'll get.
Right. No one's expecting perfection. It's all about practice, consistency, and embracing those little slip-ups along the way. We're all in this together, and we've all been there.
Definitely. Now, we're about to wrap this part up, but stay tuned because we've got some more great tips coming your way. Don't go anywhere.
All right, guys, here we are at the final part of our conversation about common English mistakes. We've covered so much already, but before we wrap it up, let's dive into some quick tips that will really help you improve your fluency and make these mistakes a past thing.
Yeah, we've been through a lot today, and I know it might seem like a lot to remember, but the key is repetition. The more you practice, the more natural it'll feel. Don't stress about getting everything perfect right away.
Exactly. One of the best ways to improve is just by speaking as much as possible. You can study grammar rules all day long, but until you actually start speaking, you won't really see that progress. It's about getting comfortable with the language.
And one thing I really recommend is finding someone to practice with. Whether it's a language partner, a tutor, or even just a friend who's also learning, practicing with others makes a big difference. You get to hear yourself speak, and you can correct each other.
Totally. And let's talk about listening. Listen to podcasts, watch shows, listen to music, all in English. That's how you'll really get a feel for the language. The more you hear it, the more it'll start to click in your brain.
Yes, immersion is key. Even if you're just listening in the background while you're doing other stuff, your brain is picking up so much. Plus, it's a fun way to learn.
Right? It doesn't feel like studying when you're watching your favorite show or listening to a song you like. You can even watch with subtitles at first if that helps. Just make sure you're getting that language exposure.
Another tip is to keep a journal in English. It doesn't have to be anything fancy, just a few sentences every day about what you did, what you're feeling, or anything really. It's a great way to practice writing, and it'll help with vocabulary and sentence structure.
Love that. And don't be afraid to make mistakes when you're writing or speaking. Seriously, don't hold back. The more mistakes you make, the more you'll learn from them. It's part of the process.
For sure. And remember, it's okay to take your time. Fluency doesn't happen overnight. You're not in a race. It's all about progress, not perfection.
Exactly. And if you ever feel stuck or frustrated, just remind yourself that learning a language is a journey. Every mistake is a step towards getting better, and you're doing amazing.
Totally. Now, before we finish up today's episode, we want to hear from you. What mistakes do you find yourself making most often? What tips helped you improve your English? Drop a comment and let us know. We love hearing from our listeners.
And if you found this episode helpful, make sure to subscribe to our podcast so you never miss an episode. We're always talking about ways to improve your English and other cool stuff to make learning fun.
And don't forget to hit that like button and share this episode with anyone who could use some tips on improving their English. The more, the merrier, right? We've got tons of great content coming your way, and we'd love for you to be a part of it.
So that's a wrap for today. Thanks for tuning in, and we can't wait to have you back for our next episode. This is Emma.
And Ben, signing off. Catch you next time.